Okay. I hit the button too quickly, you guys. I'll just say that. I was trying to add some information and I didn't get to. Okay. All right, well, I'm here now, so I might as well get cracking. As you can see, it is a wintry, some people might say wonderland. I'm not feeling the wonder part. I'm over it. I'm so over winter and snow and all of that. Like, it's not cool. However, I was able to get out. I was on my way to the gym, which I'm gonna do. I'm going to the gym in a few, but I decided to stop and chat with you for a while. I decided to come to the office and chat. And aw, there are these little boys dragging their sleds up the road. That's cute. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't gonna get on at all because I've been like, I just have not been like, no, I'm not going online because I just needed to focus elsewhere. Anyway, but I'm here now, so I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how hard it is to do inner work. Whew. How do I know? Because I'm doing it. See the boys? Where'd they go? They are dragging their sleds. Inner work. Oh my God. So if you've ever, and hopefully you have, decided to do some inner work, like you want to improve whatever aspect of your life. Okay, yeah. You want to improve whatever aspect of your life. You feel like you're stagnated in an area, or you want to, as everyone says, level up, or any of that kind of stuff. Or, you're noticing that you have friction in, I don't know, pick an area, or, just any of that kind of stuff. You want to get better at what you're doing. You want to feel better. You want to show up better. You want to not be critical or lazy or, any of those things. You just want to do better in your life. Oh, look, I cannot respond right now. Sorry, somebody's texting me. A lot of times it's not just about my experience and what I've learned from myself and from other people. And I've talked to a lot of people and I've been reading a lot and looking at a lot of different things online, whatever. But, it's not so much, feedback from other people is helpful often, but I do think that the more you just kind of go in and check, well, certainly, so let me say this. So feedback can be helpful to kind of point you in the direction. Like if you have people constantly telling you, you're really impatient. You're really, is it still going? Okay. So I'm going to send him a text message. He'll message me in a second. Cause I know what he wants. If you're getting feedback about a certain thing, like, repetitive patterns, let's say, or someone's feeling, I don't know, whatever, but you're getting that type of feedback, I think that's a good indication that, okay, let me check on that. Now, if it's a one-off and maybe the person has a gripe or something that may not be well-founded, then that's a different story. Possibly doesn't mean you shouldn't check it out. But if you either know from your own history or patterns or whatever, or you're hearing from different sources the same kind of feedback, then yeah, you might want to check in with that. And so, or it may not be any of those things. Maybe you just desire, like I did. Why did I desire this? You desire to level up. You desire to improve your life circumstance in whatever way, financial, relational, with your family, with your health, like check all the boxes, right? All those things. You desire to improve those things. And you're like, okay, and you set your intentions, maybe you write things down. I like to write stuff down, or, you say some prayers, whatever your method is. And then you wait, and lo and behold, the shit starts to hit the fan. And when it first happens, you're like, oh, what was that? That was like something splattered next to me. And you may not catch it right away. But hold on, because sure enough, the clues become very clear. It's very evident what is happening. It's like things are falling apart. In my case, I will say things look like they're falling apart, and you're like, what is happening? But this is not what I asked for. I asked for good things. I'm laughing because it's actually to the point now where it's comical. Like it has gotten so ridiculous. It's actually comical because like, oh my God. I've had people tell me, "Oh, when that starts happening, that means that things are about to get better. You're like going to another level, or you're breaking through, that kind of stuff." Okay, fine. Well, I didn't see it like that initially. I do think I can see some of that now, but it is hard work. Oh my God, it's hard work, and it's like being in a boxing ring. Like, it's not just one event. No, 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 no. There's like, what is it, 12 rounds or 15 rounds, however many you're in boxing. It's like you go, and the first round, you're kind of prepared. You've been training, whatever, and so you feel okay. And then you go, ding, you get a little timeout for a hot second, get some water, someone's rubbing off your face, all that. They're whispering in your ear, you can do it, you can do it. And then you go back, round 2, round 3, and of course you're getting progressively more tired because this is hard work after all. You're digging into the depths of yourself, the recesses of your psyche and your experiences and all the shit that's in there from way long time ago or even from recently. Somebody offended you, somebody, whatever, whatever. And it's all coming out. So you're in this, I like the analogy of the boxing ring because that feels kind of apropos at the moment. Oh my God. And it's like, okay. And then you may realize, oh, you get this great like epiphany, in my case, there are different aspects to this, but I can think of one at least where I felt very clear about some things. I'm like, no, 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 I see, this is what it is, right? And that's not true. In the moment, I felt very clear, but actually the moment was kind of flawed because I realized, even in the moment, that my, like I was not in a very, very rational state. I was very upset. I'll say that. I was very upset, but I felt like I was righteously. Hear that? But I'm still on. Am I still on? Yes. Okay. Never mind. So that was my bestie. I'm gonna call her back. No. Oh, so the sound of that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you? I don't know sign language. Send me a thumbs up or something if you can hear me, please. Let me know because I'll finish my call. Okay. Good. Whoo, child. So, okay. So one lesson is when you're in a heightened emotional state, that's not a good time to really take stock of anything because you're not balanced, right? And I realized that. And as soon as I finished my little rant, my indignant rant, it was very clear to me, like, oh no, what are you doing? Like you are, you're not thinking rationally right now. But it was too late because I had already ranted. And then I went back and I reviewed. But what I was saying about the boxing though is that it's just like you get one kind of insight, one download, and it's like, okay, cool, I'll ride with that for a while and I'll work on that thing. And then it's like another one comes and I'm like, okay, here we go, work on this and that. And the whole point is that it's a serious commitment to do inner work. So I think about people who are like in rehab or people who are trying to do significant weight loss or any of those kinds of things. That is hard. It's hard because you are challenging and like uprooting typically years of patterns and conditioning and beliefs that have been baked into the DNA of who you are, to pull up the weeds basically and then plant something different. And I also like the analogy of planting because I consider myself to always be planting different seeds in like throughout my life. And like in my son's life, I'm like, okay, I'm planting seeds so he'll be responsible. I'm planting seeds so he'll be considerate and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you're like, is this growing? Like, I don't see him being responsible. I see him being a lazy teenager or whatever. And then it's like, oh, something will pop up one day. I'm like, oh, good, it's taking root. Same thing with myself. So I've certainly planted lots of seeds over the years in different areas. And a lot of them are obvious to me, like in terms of achievement and all that. That's a given. Like, I know I'm smart. I know I'm capable. I know all that. But there are others where it has not been as evident consistently. It is consistent. Hi, everybody. I see you guys saying hi. I'm talking today about improving oneself and how hard that work is, like to really dig in. I'm not talking about like learn a new skill. No, I'm talking about the inner work, like the deep, deep inner work. which as far as I know, everybody has. And it's just not easy. Some people just aren't willing to do it at all. They're afraid. Like I've known people very closely personally who were just not willing to like do therapy or like really look at themselves with a seriously critical eye, not to just be critical for no reason, not to hurt themselves, but to help improve themselves. And there are a lot of folks who just are like, nope, it's too deep and too dark. I can't do it, because they're afraid to go through. And I will tell you, it's hard. It feels like sometimes you're not going to come out of it. It feels scary sometimes. It feels like this is too difficult. It just, all of that. And it's not cool to see your shit. It is not fun to go, whoa, is that me? That part, that crazy part right there, the person who acted like that, the person who has these beliefs that, when you're like balanced and in your normal state of mind, it's obvious that that's not, well, you think that's not what you really believe, but on some level, there's this fear and doubt and whatever. Whew. So the short story is, your girl, I have been going through it, trying to work this stuff out. The good news is I do feel very proud of myself because, like I said, a lot of people wouldn't do this. They would not even, they would hide it. They would not acknowledge it. They would cover it up with something. Sorry, y'all, my hair is just, it is what it is. They would just sidestep it. And like I said, I've known people sidestep it. I've been in a relationship, I think one in particular, with somebody who was like Heisman, just never, always deflecting, or like the Matrix was like, whoa, and would never, ever acknowledge anything. And that it didn't work. So I do give myself a lot of credit for at least being in the trenches. And I'm talking about the trenches because, like I'll be doing some work and feeling really good, and then it's like, oof, come a wash with like, a new thing, a new either revelation or like another old wave of something that comes up. So why am I even telling you all this? Why am I letting you into my very personal world? Because I think it applies widely. I think it really has very, very broad application, that there's so many people out there who either are having this experience currently and they're going through it, or they're scared to have it, or maybe they've been through it, whether, like I said, it's an addiction or a personal situation that you recognize that, okay, I have to get control of whatever it is in your life. And and because people are helping me. I have some really dear friends who have just like stepped up and are like, girl, don't trip. You got this. This is what it is. And and helping me see things like when I'm struggling to go, what is this? Why is this? Why am I thinking like this? Why am I whatever? And it's like they're not, I'm in the forest, right? So I'm just seeing all these leaves. They're outside of it and they're going, okay, this is it, and so that's super helpful. And here's the other thing. So I love YouTube, right? And I'm always on YouTube looking at different things. It's a great resource for information and like how to and all that type of stuff. So right now my algorithm, not surprisingly, is full of this kind of stuff. And something that popped up, like I love, do you guys know who Neville Goddard is? Woo, Neville Goddard is great. And by the way, he was not trained necessarily, but his mentor was this Ethiopian rabbi. Abdul, I think his name was. I've talked about him before, but anyway, Neville Goddard was like back in the day, back in the 20s or 30s maybe, dropping serious knowledge about like the science of mind, manifestation, all that. And I there's no doubt that is real. So it's like what you say to yourself, on a regular basis, and not even like out loud, but like what's the track playing in your mind? And so two things. So one, I realized that whereas I typically try to have very positive self-talk, lately, my mind was like a wild horse just running. It's funny now. It was not funny when it was happening because shit got crazy. But it was like running loose, just telling me all kinds of crazy stuff and like, well, you know about this, you know about that. Like it was like this weird demon whispering in my ear all the worst possible scenarios. Everything that could go wrong was like headed for wrong in my mind. I don't know why. All I could think of is, well, one, old school conditioning, deep-seated beliefs that were not healthy, not happy, not helpful, and that I was not practicing what I preach often, which is positive self-talk. I mean, I've even done things where, if you haven't been to my home, but like I would print things out, like little affirmations and stuff, and have them on my bathroom mirror or on the wall or whatever, which was always saying like really good stuff. And so I wasn't necessarily getting up and reciting it every day, but it was constantly like I passed by, and so I'd sort of absorb it into my psyche. Or I'd always be listening, like I said, on YouTube to Neville Goddard and Louise Hay and, pardon me, Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, just different sources of really great information. If you guys don't know about those people, you should check them out. And it's like feeding me. Again, it's like that planting, manifest your destiny, colonize our future. Okay, I don't know about that, but yes. You like my gray? Thank you. Yeah, I'm done with the color and stuff. It's like, look, this is what it is. And I think it looks pretty good when it comes in, actually. So, but the point is, the more that I was like in the habit of listening to those people and reading what they wrote and, talking to my friends about it, because there's certain people you can talk to about stuff like manifestation and everything, and there are other people who are like, what? And they think you're kind of nuts. When I was in that cycle of doing all that stuff, things were great. It's like, and I guess I just fell out of it, probably honestly because I had a lot of stuff that was sort of on my plate at once that I was having to manage, and it felt very stressful, and I was trying to just like keep all these different plates spinning. And so I don't know, it's like that's a chicken and egg situation, but it did feel like that's part of what was going on. So I fell out of my practice. And that's why I was saying, like, the wild horses in my mind just going crazy, talking trash to me, essentially. And I'm not saying like I was hearing voices. It's not that kind of thing. But you know what I mean? Like I wasn't on my game. And I began to see it. Not all at once, but a little here, a little there. And then it got to, I don't know if I'd call them epic proportions, but definitely I was not at my best. And the results were evident. Okay, so that was one thing. And then I was going to tell you, because of this algorithm. So this thing came up just today, and it was talking about weakness. Now, I can't stand for that. Basically, like the weak part of you, if you let the weak part of you win, then this and that, your life is going to go like this, and your life's going to go like that. And, like the weakness versus the strong part of you. And that's just like got me. I remember one time years and years ago, I was training with the track coach. This was in college. And we do work on the track, but also we do these long runs through the hills, like miles long runs through the hills. And initially when I started running with him, I wasn't used to running like distances like that. And so I was getting worn out. And there was one day we were like going up this steep hill, and everyone else, all the rest of the team had gone ahead and they were doing fine. And I was like, I can't, I was like whining and complaining. And he said to me, he's like, there's nothing wrong with your body. He's like, it's your mind that's weak, as he continued to run up the hill in front of me. And I was like, I was so indignant. Like, how could he tell me I'm weak? There's no part of me that's weak. So when I heard this thing today talking about you're weak, or if you're weak, here's what's going to happen. That was all I needed to hear. Like, no, I am not weak. I'm not going to succumb to stuff that I know is false anyway. Fears, false beliefs, bad habits, all of that. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to conquer everything at once. Like I did eat some cookies today, but I'm going to the gym. And, you know what I mean? So it's not, I think it's a lot for me anyway, to try to tackle every single thing at one time. And I feel like, I'm clear about what some of the priorities are, like my career, definitely working on that. I did some of that work this morning. I was very productive about that stuff over the past few days. So I feel good about that. Personal stuff in progress. It's definitely in progress. That's probably the toughest work, like I said, the internal stuff. And so if you are experiencing these things, anything that sounds like this, whether it's personal, your health, your career, your finances, all the typical things, or not, maybe it's your business, like I don't know what your life is, but I would just encourage you to stick with it. Because when you're going through it, as I am very clear right now, it is so hard. It's so hard. And there's moments like right now, I feel fine. I do. But earlier, it's kind of wobbly. And it comes and goes and it comes and goes. And my understanding is that that's just the way it is. It is not a straight and narrow path. It's very circuitous. It's very bumpy. Sometimes you might get to pass by a little meadow and it's all scenic and it looks great. And other times you're like hanging on the edge of a cliff wondering, what is happening? This is not what I asked for. I asked for like a beautiful panoramic view of 2025 where all it's going to be great. And this is not what I envisioned. But it's like, yeah, but you're going to get there. This is the way to that. So I would just say, Yeah, it's incredibly difficult, but stick with it. So I have now bared my soul for all of y'all. I hope it's helpful to someone. Um, and that's it. So I am not, like I said, I often I come out here and I don't come because I'm planning to do a YouTube video, but I kind of feel inspired sometimes to just share a little bit of this. Mainly, as I said, because I think sometimes when you hear somebody talking like for real about what they're going through, it can help you. And like I had a friend of mine tell me the other day about a situation. This is so funny because it's a girlfriend I hadn't talked to in years. We had not been in touch in years. And somehow she just popped back up. I was sitting down and she called me. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And we just instantly clicked back together. And so, and we've been talking a lot lately, which has been great, just reconnecting. But she shared with me this story that, you know, a personal situation of hers where she was like, you know, did not show her best self. And it was hysterical to hear now, like what she did. Because you think about it, it's like, why nobody would do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But she did. And, you know, it ended up being okay. But I think she's just trying to help me understand, like, girl, you're good. Don't trip. It's going to be all right. Because, oh, God, all I can do is just breathe. And, like I said, pat myself on the back that at least I'm doing this, because I could close the door and be like, oh, well, not my problem. On to the next thing, and deny it and act like there's nothing to really focus on. But there is. And so I'm doing it. And so if you have to do this stuff too, if you have some things to work on, whatever they are, and you know that you're not at your best, you know that you are slacking in some kind of way, or you have fallen short, or there's a struggle somewhere, like internally, I really do recommend that you go ahead and do it. It's not gonna all happen at once, but even if you just go, okay, I'm willing to see what that looks like, just like open the door a little bit and trust that God, the universe, whatever you call it, is gonna step in and show you, like, okay, well, here's something you can see. Maybe it's like I said, through feedback from somebody else. Maybe you already know what an area is that you need to work on. Maybe you're just a procrastinator, and so that's leading to things not just maybe on your job, but at home, and you know, I don't know, but yeah, that's what I would recommend. So I see your comments. I don't really know what all of this means. Did I run the dish? NorCal. Oh, no, I didn't do any like marathons or 5Ks or whatever. I just would run just because I used to like to run. In fact, that's stuff. I'm on my way to the gym now because I want to get on the treadmill. I do want to do. I don't know if I'll run today, but some walking, running. I'm not going to probably stay for a long time. I just want to get in, get out. I feel the need to exert physically because you see how it is out here now, right? It snowed overnight. Look at this. I'm so over the snow, right? It snowed a bunch last night. So I was able to get in a little bit of a walk yesterday, but not much because it was cold. But the day before was great because I did one of my like 4 to 5 mile walks. It was cold, but it was manageable. And so now I'm not walking in this. I'll go to the gym and get something in. So anyway, that is my Cynthia Pettion. She better run to Novatech and give me my money back. I know that because I got some 5 figures tied up. Oh, please honestly, that would be such great news. If like, oh, here you guys, you get your money back. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Okay, anyway, I hope that was helpful to whoever may see this whenever. Yeah, do what you gotta do, y'all. Peace and love. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.